enlist major in the War of Independence. They always said it was like the effigy he saw when shaving every morning, the smooth, dark hair drooping across his right temple, the narrow nose and lips, the narrow, dark hand on the sword hilt or the razor, the slits of dark eyes gazing steadily out. Young Francis was seeing the darkies working in the cotton fields under a sun that he did not seem to have seen since he came over here. He was walking with his setter along the swamp edge, where Florida moss festooned the tall, dolorous trees. He was thinking of the Wilmot inheritance, ruined in the Civil War, still decayed yet precious, and whether to struggle on with it, or to sell it to the Yank who wanted a weekend run too from his Charleston dock job, and would improve it out of recognition. It would be lonely there, now that Anne had married that young Britisher John Forsyte, and gone away north, to Southern Pines. And he thought of his sister, thus lost to him, dark, pale, vivid, full of sand. Yes, this room made him homesick with its perfection, such as he'd never beheld, where the only object out of keeping was that dog, lying on its side now, and so thick through that all its little legs were in the air. Softly he said, "It's the prettiest room I ever was in." "What a perfectly charming thing to overhear." A young woman with crinkly chestnut hair above a creamy face, with smiling lips, a short, straight nose, and very white, dark-lashed eyelids active over dark hazel eyes, stood near the door. She came towards him and held out her hand. Francis Wilmot bowed over it and said gravely, "Mrs. Michael Mont." "So John's married your sister. Is she pretty?" "She is." "Very?" "Yes, indeed." "I hope Baby has been entertaining you." "He's just great." "He is, rather. I hear Dandy bit you." "I reckon he didn't break the cuticle." "Haven't you looked? But he's quite healthy. Sit down and tell me all about your sister and John. Is it a marriage of true minds?" Francis Wilmot sat down. "It certainly is. Young John is a pretty white man, and Anne—" He heard a sigh. "I'm very glad. He says in his letter that he's awfully happy. You must come and stay here. You can be as free as you like. Look on us as an hotel." The young man's dark eyes smiled. "That's too good of you. I've never been on this side before. They got through the war too soon." Fleur took the baby out of its nest. "This creature doesn't bite. Look, 2 teeth, but they don't antagonize. Isn't that how you put it?" "What is its name?" "Kit, for Christopher. We agreed about its name, luckily. Michael, my husband, will be in directly. He's in Parliament, you know. They're not sitting till Monday. Ireland, of course. We only came back for it from Italy yesterday. Italy's so wonderful. You must see it." "Pardon me, but is that the Parliament clock that chimes so loud?"
"Big Ben, yes. He marks time for them. Michael says Parliament is the best drag on progress ever invented. With our first Labour government, it's been specially interesting this year. Don't you think it's rather touching the way this dog watches my baby? He's got the most terrific jaw."
"What kind of dog is he?"
"A dandy Dinmont. We did have a peek. It was a terrible tragedy. He would go after cats, and one day he struck a fighting Tom and got clawed over both eyes, quite blinded, and so—"
The young man saw her eyes suddenly too bright. He made a soft noise and said gently, "That was too bad."
"I had to change this room completely. It used to be Chinese. It reminded me too much."
"This little fellow would chaw any cat."
"Luckily he was brought up with kittens. We got him for his legs. They're so bowed in front that he can hardly run, so he just suits the pram. Dan, show your legs."
The dandy looked up with a negative sound.
"He's a terrible little character. Do tell me, what's John like now? Is he still English?"
The young man was conscious that she'd uttered at last something really in her mind. "He is, but he's a dandy fellow."
"And his mother? She used to be beautiful."
"And is to this day."
"She would be. Grey, I suppose, by now."
"Yes? You don't like her?"
"Well, I hope she won't be jealous of your sister."
"I think perhaps..."